Hi guys, I'm back with yet another writing vlog and I'm very excited for this one because I've been working on my project and these writing vlogs have really served as motivation for me to keep going. And it's like every time I'm like, I'm gonna be filming a writing vlog, I get to write. It makes me so excited. I feel so like, yes, this is set time that I set aside to write. Granted, it's a lot easier because as of this period in my life, for like the next couple days, I don't have that many responsibilities. Leading up to probably in a week or so, I'll start having a lot more I need to actually accomplish and become responsible for. But as of now, I have some free time. Until that free time kind of runs out, I will be able to work on my novel. So last writing vlog, I made fantasy map. I created a Camp Nano goal. Since the last time I updated, I have gotten to chapter 17, which is where I wanted to start Nano, and it's not even June yet. So already knocked that out the park. My goal was to finish 2 chapters a week, and as of now, that's pretty attainable because once again, not too many responsibilities until I get into June. Today, I think I'm gonna start on the first June chapter, which is chapter 17. I think I said I finished chapter 17. I finished chapter 16 and a half, if I didn't say that. The half was because that's a new chapter I added, and just to keep somewhat consistent with the outline that I created, I make them half chapters instead of making them new chapters. I'm going to be working on the new chapter, but first, I got the Barbie Olipop, and I'm really excited to try that, so I'm gonna do a little taste test. I didn't know what that was. I'm gonna do a little, it's gonna be like a little taste test, but no air quotes because this is actually happening. I'm gonna go get the Barbie Olipop and we can try it together like a team. Just look at how the little Barbies on the side, I love them so much. And I'm definitely keeping this can. Don't know if that's weird, but it's so cute. It's peaches and cream. I think it's based off of like a specific Barbie from the past. I don't really know Barbie lore like that. I just know I played with Barbies and I love the Barbie franchise. Here's my cup of ice. This tastes really familiar. It tastes kind of like the Lipton peach tea, but less sweet. I think that's what it tastes. Vaguely reminiscent of. This is so exciting. Cheers. I think the last time we talked, I was saying how I had to introduce 2 really important characters to my story. I introduced one of the characters in chapter 16.5, but then I was thinking about the other character and then I was like, what if I introduced her in a new way? At first, I was going to introduce them both at the same time, but now I'm thinking that doesn't really make sense with the progression of the story. I feel like the character that was introduced needs to mention that they know this character. How do I phrase this? That character needs to be not actually present in the story. That doesn't make sense. I don't know why I said that because that makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, long story short, I just feel like I'm going to need to do some more brain dumping to try to gather my thoughts on what should happen next. I think what I'm gonna do now is go back through my document, see what the last thing I wrote was, and then try to figure out how I should be starting the next chapter based on how I ended off that last chapter. I can never be a true plotter. Like, you know how there are plotters and pantsers? I could never be a true plotter because I always get new ideas. I always want to change something. I always want to add something. Like, I have never written a plot all the way through and then actually stuck to it 100%. I just can't do that. It doesn't work. I ended off the last chapter kind of rough. Definitely will not be staying like this, but I kind of don't want to touch it right now because I'm just like, I feel like it ends good plot-wise, but I ended off the last chapter kind of rough in terms of writing style, but I'm not leaving it like that. But I like how it ends plot-wise, so I'm just gonna move on to the next chapter, as one does. What I did was I started the chapter with completely new material, and then I found a way to recycle part from a different chapter, introducing this character that I thought I could still use in this part. So I just kind of tweaked it a little bit, so some parts are a little dramatic sounding and weird, but once again, it will not be staying like this. This is just the second draft. And if you're wondering, I know like it's probably common to have probably 3 drafts of a novel before you submit it for feedback or for asking around and stuff. This is probably gonna be like 4, 5 drafts. I know when people say like they're on their however like draft 10, I'm like, So if you have that many drafts, it kind of just makes it sound like you're just stalling the inevitable, or you're just like a perfectionist. For me, I think some drafts really warrant that amount of attention and revisiting, because you want to make sure it's the best it can be. And also sometimes that first draft is less of a draft and more of an idea. So I do think it's really good to keep polishing stuff however many times you want, and to be like, yes, this is my draft 20, and what about it? That's kind of my mindset right now. I'm just trying to solidify the plot, then we'll go back, tweak the wording. That is the last step. Sometimes that gets really tough as a writer because we're all little perfectionists and we want to go back and make sure everything sounds amazing, or we find ourselves rereading stuff we just wrote and then we're like, that's awful. Why would I write that? That's terrible. So that's my feedback. Sometimes I do go back and tweak stuff. Like, unless I feel in my soul that I'm taking the novel in the wrong direction, then I'm not gonna completely go back and rewrite a scene when I've just written it. Because sometimes even you go back and read the writing after it's done and you're like, wow, that was a lot better than I thought it was when I just finished writing it, or while I was writing it, and I was just being super overly critical of myself. And I think that as writers, you have to have that like attentiveness to know when you're judging yourself too hard or too harshly, especially if you've written so many other chapters and they've turned out good to your standards. Then this chapter you're probably writing now, even if you think it's really bad, don't delete it, just revisit it later, or rewrite the chapter but in the same part where you've just written the part, because sometimes you can merge stuff together and it becomes a whole new, even better things, because you're using that old work and your new work. That's just my reasoning for right now. And I'm going to probably find a writing stream, because that's been my new hyperfixation. Unfortunately, Brielle does not have a new one. I am a Brielle Writes like super fan at this point, but she doesn't have a new writing stream. So I will find someone. I'll just look up writing streams or Write With Me or something like that, and I'm sure I'll be able to find one. I'm going to stop talking your ear off and reread what I last wrote, take some notes on it, start chapter 17. I also want to say this: if you guys have any recommendation for author tubers or writing streamers, please let me know, because I'm always looking for new streamers that I can watch to keep myself on track and hold myself accountable. I found a year-old stream from Sincerely V that I will be watching.
Much longer to be able to use it, because I think, well, for me, I consider fall over when like the trees are no longer
Writing for 20 minutes. Let's check our word count. Right now we have 603 words. Some of the words that I had, they were kind of recycled from the previous draft. I had to spend a lot of time thinking through what was going to happen next in the scene. I couldn't just start writing. I really had to think about how I was going to frame this, because it's really a pivotal moment in the book, I would say. I'm just going to spend the rest of this time running through this chapter. I think I should be able to finish it today, which is very exciting. I'll probably keep this as like a weekly check-in, because I don't know, I think that would be fun. So the next time I write, or maybe a different day, or maybe later today, I'll just update and say what's going well, what's not going so well, my struggles. It's pretty much it for now. I just made it to a coffee shop. I'm gonna have a little writing session. Getting here was so awful, and traffic is so bad, and I don't really understand why, because it's not even 12 p.m. yet. Maybe this is like lunch rush hour or something, I don't know, but I was stressed getting here, but now I'm here, and I think it's gonna be a good time. So as I was getting up to leave, this older woman is ordering at the front counter and she goes, "Can you give me a big strong brew of coffee?" And then the barista swipes her card and she's like, "Card unauthorized." So loud to the entire shop. And I was just like, that lady is preying on that woman's downfall. Like, for real, why would you do that? I was just like, oh, this is what we're doing on this bright sunny morning. It's not bright and sunny. We're really gonna call her out like that. That's crazy. And then I was like, I feel like that's my cue to leave. So I left. Guys, I finished chapter 17 and I'm so excited. I'm really excited to write the next chapter because it's really pivotal to like the main character and the love interest relationship, I would say, if I manage not to completely mess it up. I'm really excited to write that character. I just have to think about how I want to like frame the discussion, like if I want it to be angsty or if I want it to be really sweet. I feel like the love interest is incapable of being sweet, so it's probably gonna be more angsty. That's just really exciting. I'm excited to write that, and also I'm so excited I finished chapter 17, and the way I did it so fast was so crazy. Like, I was probably in that coffee shop for 40-ish minutes, and I finished the entire other half of the chapter, and then I was like, yeah, that's my cue to leave. And then when the lady said, "Card unauthorized," I was like, yeah, that's my double cue to leave. So I skirted on out of there, and I don't know what they put in here, but it is so good. It's like the perfect amount of sweetness. Like, I like a good sweet coffee, but I also like being able to taste the coffee, and this is the perfect balance. I would say overall I lean more towards sweetness than coffee tasting, and this is the perfect balance. It's just a caramel latte. I think with half and half it would hit so so good. Oh my gosh. I just got regular milk, but half and half latte, bro, if you haven't had like a regular latte but with half and half only, especially if the latte like espresso is really good quality or like at least decent, but half and half, bro. But anyway, I'm just really excited that I was able to make so much progress, and I'm so excited to write the next scene. This just put me in such a good mood. I hope those clips were kind of okay. Low-key, I was trying not to hold up my camera and let people know that I was filming because that would have been highly embarrassing. I think I got okay clips. I'm about to run out of storage on my SD card, so see y'all later.